All right, let's go ahead and get at it. We got a nice full room here today. This is great. Hi everyone, my name is Derek Woodward and I am here with ASEA Connect 2.0 and I'm going to show you a thing or two about the desktop platform that comes along with the ASEA Connect 2.0 mobile app and experience, and I'm going to show you some really good things about it here. This training here today is going to focus a lot on the desktop app, such as the email templates, presentation builder, and some of the other cool things that you can do with the desktop platform. Next week when we meet, we'll talk more about the mobile app, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that right now. We have a few housekeeping items I want to go through here with a little slide deck to make sure everyone's on the same page here. So as I go along here, I wanted to make sure everyone's aware of our training schedule. We meet twice a week, Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Mountain Time and Thursday evenings at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. We like to do that Thursday 5 p.m. slot for a lot of our international associates who want to maybe come live on the call and jump on the call that way. That is a good time slot for them. It gets them in the mornings, and I think it's a really good opportunity. But in the case that these time slots twice a week do not work for you, we do host our recorded trainings on a couple of different sites here, and it looks like that has a little bit of a edit issue there. But what this is this is a screen that shows you our recorded trainings where we host them. We have a YouTube page that we've been hosting them on, and you can get to them by going to tinyurl.com/learnconnect2. That's where we host a lot of them. But I think the main place that I want to point people to here in the future is our ASEAConnect.me/training. This URL is going to be the spot that you're going to want to go to for all of our latest and greatest features, announcements, and things that we want to talk about here with the app. That's going to be a good spot for you. We've also had a Facebook page for quite some time that we've used back in the Genie days for some of you guys who may be used to that. And that page is facebook.com/ASEA Business Coach. As I get started here after our slide deck, I'll show you these pages and what they look like. You can also take a picture of these here or attempt to take a picture of these QR codes to have it transport you to any one of those spots there as well if you don't want to have to remember these URLs. Now, another good resource for training, in addition to our twice a week get-togethers here, is our in-app training inside the app. Currently, this content is available in English only at the moment, but we're working on getting some proper translations for some of our other Tier 1 languages that we've been working in here with the ASEA. So inside the app, you may see a section with these little blue categories here: getting started, contacts overview, things like that. This is a good resource for you to be able to access our our in-app training that we've put together for you. These are great trainings to help you get on the same page with learning about sharing via SMS or text message. It's only a 3-minute training, and so if you need a quick reference, these videos here on the app training section is going to be a good spot for you to be able to jump in and quickly reference some of these different areas. So pay attention to that. It's a really good area that we spend a lot of energy in for you guys. Now this next slide, this is going over the mobile training overview. This is what we're going to be talking about next time we meet on next Tuesday. So to make sure everyone's on the same page of how we kind of do these trainings here, we have two big platforms to discuss. We have our mobile training platform and we have our desktop training platform. Each one of those does take a considerable amount of time, and so what we've decided to do is kind of go back and forth. So today we're meeting and we're going to talk about the desktop app. Next week, on next Tuesday when we meet, we're going to focus on the mobile training, the mobile app training. So we can kind of bounce back and forth so that we can try to be able to cover one platform in its entirety and stick it in the hour slot that we have available to us here today. So what we have here is the desktop training, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. Here's a little bit of some of the topics we're going to talk about here: accessing the desktop app, user settings, sending emails, following up, presentation builder, and then building email templates as well, which we'll go over. So a lot of you guys have asked a lot of good questions about the email templates, and I've helped you a lot with that. If the training content that we go over today still kind of goes over your head and you need a little additional help, from me personally, I've enabled a very, very good resource to a lot of you guys to be able to reach out to me directly and be able to ask me any questions that you have here about our two platforms that we have. This link here, calendly.com/ASEA Connect/support, is a resource for you to be able to book some time and put it up on my calendar so that you can take 30 minutes of my day, and I'll take some time and sit with you, and we'll talk about any of the questions that you have about the ASEA Connect app. A lot of people have taken advantage of this, and I want to encourage you guys to do so. Every time we meet, we answer a lot of good questions, and we get a lot of really good feedback from associates. So don't be afraid to use this support and schedule some time with me if it can be beneficial for you. This email, connect@aseaglobal.com, this is a good email that you can use to reach me for any questions about the app or anything that you need extra assistance on. I am here on that email, and so I can help you with any questions you have there. So going along here, that is the last slide that we have to talk about here today. So let me close this up and move this into a separate frame here, and then we'll start talking a little bit about our desktop training here. So I wanted to show you a couple spots here real fast before we get into our desktop app. We have a couple different websites that we use to access some of our training. And I'm going to show you here the first one, the ASEAConnect.me. This is our main landing page that we built to kind of contain all of the information about our ASEA Connect app, different announcements and releases, different features. So if you're trying to show a different associate what this app is, ASEAConnect.me is probably the best resource for you to be able to send that send that information over to them. The good thing about this app is we also have a nice little chat bot that you can see down here on my bottom right. You can ask it questions. We've trained this bot to be able to help you with a lot of different questions. So, and it's got links here to be able to download this app directly so that you can get it taken care of here. So this is a good resource. The area I want to talk about here right now is the training button. If we click on the training button, it's going to open up our training page where we've been hosting our video content. So as soon as that loads, sometimes it takes a second to load here, but I wanted to show you some of the different videos that we've been releasing, and we're putting it up on here for. We're working on transitioning our playlist to a separate training page, and so I will be updating that here as we get closer to next week, especially for the webvention. Here we go here. So this is a good area where you can see all of our different training videos and things that we've hosted here, and each one of these little items here is a different training,
here, you guys.
A different training video that we put together here for you, such as the call that we're on here today. So here's one from example last week that we met, and we talked about the mobile app. So this is a good resource for you to be able to pop in and learn about some of the things that you might be missing. So another place that we like to post our content is on our Facebook page. Okay, come on. Let's get through some of our pop-ups here. And it looks like they have updated this, but no worries here. If you go to Facebook and search for ASEA Connect and search that, we can find this page here, ASEA Connect, and this is where we're going to be posting a lot of our different trainings that you can see here. Here's one as an example that you can watch, and you can also share this with other people as well using the share button. We still like to post this on our Facebook page because it allows people to share it with other people. That's a good way to be able to kind of get the word out and get more people involved in our trainings and get them aware of our training schedules and things like that. So keep that in mind. A lot of our different recorded trainings, I've also added a highlighted cursor so that it's very easy to be able to follow our content and track through it. If I'm moving too fast on the call, it is a good way to kind of follow that. Thank you, Elizabeth. I noticed you're on the call here today, so I appreciate that. So let's go through here and talk about what we're going to talk about here today. Now, I wanted to also make sure to mention some people are already using the chat feature here, and this is great. If you have any questions with anything I'm going through here, please reach out to me on the chat or use the Q&A on Zoom, and we can answer your questions here. And I'll take some time here between our different transitions to make sure I'm covering all your guys' questions. So first things first that I want to talk about here is our desktop platform. Like I said, we released that mobile app, but there's also a desktop counterpart that you can use to send emails and access your contacts and see some different features there that way. So let's log in here to the virtual office here, and I'll show you where you can find that desktop platform. Let's go through here, some of these different pop-ups. Alright, now that I'm logged into the back office here, I can click on Menu, and I have this button here for Take Me to ASEA Connect. Now, this is where you want to go to access the new training platform, or excuse me, the new prospecting platform that I'm training about today. If you're used to accessing the Genie or ASEA Business Coach platform, you can still access it by going under Resources and clicking on ASEA Business Coach to access it here. So that button has simply been moved from here to over here. So if you had contacts that you've been using in ASEA Connect 1.0, for instance, you're going to find them all here in the ASEA Business Coach area. So now moving along here, let's click on the green Let's Go button and get logged in here to the desktop platform. And while that loads, let me take a quick little bit of our chat here to make sure we're on the same page with everybody. Sounds good. Alright, when you first load up the desktop platform, everyone's going to see this user settings area, and it's a good idea for everyone to be able to pop into this section first to make sure that their information is all accurate. I know some people have some different names on the ASEA back office, then they maybe want different associates, or excuse me, different contacts in the app to see. And so this is a good space to go in and make sure that you're updating your information in here so that it is relative to what you're sharing with. When you share content on the app, it's going to have a website display with your name, phone number, email, and a little bio. Make sure this information is accurate so that when you share an ASEA via video, it's going to then allow them to contact you using your phone number and email address. And that's an important area. Below this as well, we have an option to add a photo, which is a good area, and I'll show you where this photo gets used here in the app and in when you start sharing. It's a good idea to do that because it makes it a little bit more colorful and personal as you start sharing content here with other people. So after we're done talking about this, you can ignore some of this other stuff here, username and password and delete account. I wouldn't really recommend messing with this delete account button. It's something that we have to have in place due to the GDPR Privacy Act in the Europe area. So keep that in mind. Just don't mess with that. Ask associate support if you have any questions, and we can help you out there, or ask me. So as we're going along here, let's go through the settings section, and then we'll move across the top here and make sure we cover all these different areas. The notification section, this is a very important area that I want to talk to you guys about to make sure that you're utilizing all the cool features that we're here announcing here for you. So the notification area is where you can go if you want to be notified via email and text message when your contacts are accessing your videos or any of the content that you're sending. For instance, if you share an ASEA via video, for instance, you want to be notified via text message that that contact has watched that video. There's 3 different ways that this app can notify you of activity. They can send an email, an SMS text message, or a push notification. If you don't go here and do anything on this, I believe you're just going to get an email notification. You will have to manually add a phone number to get notified via text message. If you don't want to get bothered, you can just rely on the push notifications on the app. And that is going to be the best way to get notified of when they're accessing the content that you're sending them. So you can go here and put up to, I think, 5 different emails here. Yeah, you may specify up to 5 email addresses to receive notifications. A lot of people use this area if they're sharing this account with other associates or other spouses that may want to be aware of when they are accessing the content. And it's a good way to kind of keep everyone on the same page. You can even go down here below and select how you want to be notified by filling in these little bubbles here so that you don't get bothered with certain actions or activities. And then you can also send a test to email and mobile so that you can see if everything's working as you expect. So after we're done talking about notifications, let's talk about lead capture. This is an area that's going to take probably a separate training to talk about as we kind of roll this feature out a little bit more. This is a very good area to allow you to capture leads or contacts from people who you may not already be a contact with. And what I mean by that is, imagine you're sharing something on Facebook, such as an ASEA video, and people click on that video and they want to watch that video to see what you're sharing. If they are not a contact on your list, it will ask them to fill out their name and phone number if this feature is turned on. By default, this feature is turned off, so you won't have to worry about that too much. But if you want to start capturing some of these contacts kind of in the wild, for lack of a better word, you can turn this feature on and test it out with some friends or family just to see how it looks and feels and see if that's a feature you want to use. So a very, very cool way to start adding contacts organically as you start posting on different areas. So I really like that area. The email server settings. This is an area that I personally have set up. By default, it's going to be off for you guys, but I do want to make sure to point out how this feature works. When you send emails using this desktop tool, it's going to be coming from an email address with your associate number associate number at mail.shareasea.com. If you do not want your emails to come through that way and you want them to be using your personal email address, such as a Gmail, then I recommend popping into our app training section inside the app and learning more about our email server settings that we have here in the app. Inside of our app training, I have one specifically about email server settings that a lot of people have used to better send emails. And so it's a good way to send from your own personal email. I think it's always better to do that, and it's just a little bit easier to kind of go through that process. So if you need help with that, I've helped others with Yahoo and a few other different accounts. Let me know and I can get you taken care of there. The other settings, this is not really going to apply to you guys, so I wouldn't focus too much on that. And the mobile app access code, this is something for the tech support team to use, so you can ignore that as well. So after we're done talking about the user settings, let's transition a little bit over to the media library. After you're done getting your settings organized, you have this button up here at the top for media, and if we click on that and also click on media here, you're going to pull up, it looks like by default I've been adding a lot of different content for different markets, so let me adjust this back to United States here and hit submit so that I can see my content. Alright, market and language is all set. Let's go back to media and media. And when it finally loads up here, you're going to see all of the different videos, images, PDFs, and presentations that are available here inside the app. And you can see them all pop into frame here. And this is a place for you to go to watch any of our videos that we have inside the app so that you can pop in here and access them directly on your end and watch them that way. So a lot of this content is pulled from our virtual office library, so you may recognize a lot of these, but some of this stuff here we've pulled out of our direct YouTube account and posted it here so that you guys can access it and share any of these videos here that way. To preview any of this content, I want to show you here, you can click on this little button here, this gray button, and it'll say preview, and as you click on that, it's going to open up the ASEA Genesis video in a separate window, like so, and it's going to start playing the content here. What's nice about this is you can also see, since I have added an image up here at the top right, you can see that I got my my ugly mug up here at the top right here with my name and a phone number button and an email button. That's why it's important to make sure that your user settings area is all set up and you can go through and make sure that that works by testing out the content here that way. So really, really nice way to kind of preview what your contacts and prospects are going to see as you start sharing. So let's close this now. Let's go back here to our content. And a couple different ways that you can drill this down, because yes, this is a lot of different videos to find. You can use this little search box up at the top, up at the top to search for stories, for instance, and pull up all of our different testimonial stories that we have here available in the app. We're working on adding a lot more, so be on the lookout for that. You can do it that way, or you have this little filter button here. Inside of our app, we have different sections of content, such as, let me pull this up into frame here, show you guys what I'm talking about. Just bring in my app over here. There's one more way that you can sort through the content here, and I'm going to show you how you can do that here now. Alright, so here's our mobile app that I have here, and you can see here that we have sections here laid out such as Share ASEA, Share ASEA Stories. As soon as it pulls into frame here, it takes a second. Business Resources, things like that, product resources, and so on. If you wanted to organize or view your content based on these tags, you can do so here on the desktop platform by going here and clicking on the filter, view all, and let's say you wanted to find the videos that pertain to business resources. You can do that by selecting the filter for business resources and see that content here that we have down there as well. When you have that filter set up, I thought that was going to work there for that, but you can see that up at the top here it organizes it by videos, and then you can just turn off some of these different filters that we have here. Some of these little, because my screen is kind of zoomed in here, let me see if I can fix this. There we go. Alright, so up here at the top you also have the ability to view different images. This, you're not going to use this too much on the desktop platform. This is more for social media sharing, where you can share these images with other people. However, there is a good way to use this by using the Share ASEA websites. So on our images area, this is where we also have our websites that you can use to share. So for instance, the ASEA Global, this is a website that you can share. So if we go to Filter and we go to Share ASEA websites, you can see all of our different websites that we have to share, such as our Webvention, which is next week. You can preview that by clicking on this button here. It's going to take you right to Webvention and show you that content there that way. These are assets that you can share, sending emails and things like that, and we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. We have also some PDFs here that you can find. Let's refresh that there. So all of our PDFs are all organized by the same way. If you wanted to see PDFs regarding to the VIA line, you can type in VIA up here at the top and see our different things that we have available for your market by searching up here at the top. You can also use that filter button that I've shown you here as well. Presentations we're not going to go into too heavy right now. We'll get into that as we start talking about our presentation builder, so we can ignore that section for now. So that covers the media library navigation, and so I want to make sure you guys all understand really how to do that. The next area I want to take some time and talk to you about here is the contacts section. This is a big area and a hot topic for a lot of you guys as you're working with many of your different contacts. So let's click on Contacts here at the top and click on Manage Contacts. You can see here I already have a handful of contacts listed here on my list, and if you guys don't have any contacts, I do want to recommend that you want to start by adding your first contact, and that first contact should be yourself. So let's go through the process of adding a first contact here in the app. Down here at the bottom you got a big blue button here that says Add New Contact. If you click on Add New Contact here, you can go through here and add a test contact. For instance, I'm going to add a Uber driver that I met last week. His name was Zach. I don't know his last name, but I'm just going to put his last name as Uber. And over here on my notes section, I'm going to put down when I met them and how I met them right there, just so I can keep tabs on that. Now, Zach did give me his email. I'm going to put that here in my email spot. And let's go ahead and add a phone number. I'm going to put in a fake phone number just for the sake of adding this contact here. You can go through the process if you have the information for your contact, or you can just simply add the bare minimum here. Let's go ahead and hit save. And now I should have a new contact for Zach. Okay, there he is, Zach Uber. And if I click on that contact, which you guys didn't see me do, but let me show you here, all you got to do is click on this area right here for his name, and you will pull up that contact and be able to see the details of that contact, such as website visits and things like that. Now, in this hypothetical situation, I met Zach on an Uber ride last week, and he was very interested in the Renew product line. He's curious about his skin, and he wanted to get some better skin products, and so I talked to him about Renew Advanced, and he was interested, and I wanted to send him an email about Renew Advanced products. So that's the story here that I'm going to add this contact here. Just to show you the kind of the process here of you adding information to your contact. So Here we've added our first test contact for Zach Uber, and he wants more information on the Renew Advanced product line. Now there are a couple different ways that you can do this. You can share a video directly, you can share an image, you can share a PDF, you can send a raw email to Zach by clicking this button here at the top under Prospecting Tools. Let's click on Send an Email. Now in my case, I have a few different email templates that I've used here. So if you guys don't have any, we'll talk about that here as we get later on into our call. But in this case, we can just say, "Hi, Zach. Thanks for the ride. I'll send you some more information about ASEA later today. Thanks again, Derek." So we're just sending a quick email to Zach, and I'm just showing you that process here as we go through that. Before you send an email, you will have to agree to the anti-spam policy. This attachment area is a really good area for you to be able to attach files on your desktop. I know a lot of people use this area for their PowerPoint stories or their presentations that they want to add here. Our desktop app doesn't really have a good spot for PowerPoint presentations, and so a lot of people use this attachment slot as a spot to add presentations. Different PowerPoint presentations that may benefit their contacts. You can use that spot just like that. Let's click on Send Email here and send this off to Zach. Alright, so that's been sent. Now, in this case, that's how you send a quick email. And I do want to now show you how to send a specific email with specific content. So let's pretend like it's later in the day now, and we want to send Zach a video about the Renew product line. So let's go ahead and click on Share a Video. And let's go ahead and find a video. Let's find one here that talks about Renew. Alright, here we go. ASEA Renew Advanced Skincare Product Video. Let's go ahead and use that one here as this example. Let's click on that. Now you can see as soon as I click on that, it adds this video code here, 5535. This is the code that points to that video right there. So that's the one that you want to use to make sure that this gets sent off properly. So you don't want to change anything inside this code here. Here is that video I told you I would send. Let me know if you have any questions. And here you can title the top of this here. You can go ahead and mark it as bold by hitting Control B as in boy. Hey Zach, it's Derek. Just something on the subject line. You can put whatever you want there. So now Zach's going to be getting an email from me that's going to have this Renew Advanced product video attached to that just like that. And you can also attach other files just like we did before. And let's agree to the anti-spam policy and hit Send Email. So now that's going to send off. And what that's going to look like, let me see if I can pull up my Gmail here and show you. Since I have set up my email server settings, it's going to look like this. Here, let me pull this up and make this more cleaner for you. So this is an example of what it's going to look like. Renew Advanced product video with this little button right here. And so he's going to be able to click on that video and play it. And it's going to look beautiful for him as he's watching the Renew Advanced video. And my phone just got alerted that Zach has clicked on the video. And so as you start sharing this content, you're going to get live notifications and alerts left and right depending on how you set up your notification setting. So that's an important way to do that. So these emails look great, I think. Even if you're sending a quick raw email, it looks professional. When you add your photo and make sure your information is all up to date, and you can start using this tool. Very, very powerful. So that's how you send a quick video. I'm not going to go into sharing a PDF because it's the same process there. A couple other areas I do want to show you here is you have this little interest level here. This is just a little area that you can manually select how interested your contact is with your content. And there's also the ability to add them to different folders. So you have this little area for folders here. And if I click on this, I can start typing in the word hot, and I will mark him as a hot contact. This hot corresponds to the contacts that I have inside my app. So let me show you here as an example. All right. So here's my mobile app here. So you can see all these little red and blue dots that I have here. That is a list of my hot and cold contacts. And so since I've marked Zach Uber as a hot contact by putting him in the hot folder, I should be able to come in here and find Zach Uber on my mobile app. Let's wait till this refreshes here. If I go down here, there is Zach Uber marked as hot right from there. So very, very kind of good way to keep things in sync that way as you do that. Any contacts that you add to your desktop platform will automatically be synced over to your mobile app. Any contacts you add from your mobile app will not sync to the desktop platform until you start sharing with them on the app or marking them as a hot or cold contact. So just make sure you guys understand that. If you add a quick contact on your phone, let's say an Uber driver, make sure to mark that contact as a hot contact so that they show up here in the desktop platform. Here's an example of the notification I just received here. This is a text message I've received that Zach Uber has viewed my ASEA Renew Advanced video. So just an example of those text message notifications as they come in. So let's go through here and make sure we're covering all the bases here. I showed you how to add to a folder. To remove from a folder, you got this little X button here that you can take people out of folders. The difference between our previous ASEA Connect 1.0 is a contact really just had one folder. In this case, you can have contacts in multiple folders, such as church. You can put this contact in a hot folder, a church folder, whatever folder that you like. So you can categorize your contacts as deep as you need to there. Also, while we're here on the contact screen, I do want to show you that if you scroll down here just a little bit, you're going to see some different stats, these different reporting tools. You can see different videos that they have viewed, such as since Zach has watched this video, you get information that he has watched the ASEA Renew Advanced Skincare product video and watched about 40% of it. So just like the previous iteration of the app, you have that kind of metric level here, and you also have the ability to record your activities that you do with your contacts. So this is a good spot to go to your contact and click on record activity called Zach and left message. You can record the activity note there to kind of just stay on top of your contacts and make sure you're prospecting effectively. You can close the reporting if you don't necessarily need to see that and focus just more on this clean screen like so. Okay, let's go through here. And let's go back to our main contact page here. I want to show you one more cool area. Contact, manage contacts. Now, all of our contacts have these little point system attributed to them so that as they start accessing different videos or content, such as Zach Uber here, he has 11 points. All of our different actions that a contact can go through will go through the process of getting these different points. Since I've marked him as interest level 4, he gets a multiplier of 2. This is all kind of deep nuts and bolts of it all here, but I just wanted to show you that what these points represent. There's different values that get attributed to different actions that your contacts go through. When they watch a video, they get points. So as you start sharing multiple videos and they start accessing all of your videos, your contacts are going to start getting points, and when you start loading up your contacts, it's going to sort them based on who has the most points and who you should be contacting most frequently. So keep that in mind as you start kind of driving through that. It's a very, very cool way to make sure you're reaching out to the important people that matter. Now, your folders, such as your hot, your church folder, your test folder, all of them are all listed right over here on the left. So as you create a new folder, such as neighbors, we can save that. It's going to create a new folder for neighbors here. And if I wanted to bring some of my contacts like Fred Jones or Leota into my friends folder, or excuse me, my neighbors folder, I can simply checkbox both of them here, go up to Actions, and click on this Add to Folders button. And now I can go through here and I can select multiple folders for them to be in. but I can just select neighbors as well, and they get now added to the folder for neighbors. So you can organize your contacts pretty effectively. It's a very, very easy way to kind of go through that. When you click on a folder, I want to make sure to point this out so no one gets super confused. Let's click on our church folder here. And as I click on that, you can see below that, it's kind of hard to differentiate here, but you have this hot prospects by website and marketing. You can ignore these here. These are not necessarily being used as much as we would like yet, but as we grow with our desktop platform, we're going to start using those a lot more. So for instance, if I click on my View All bucket, I have the hot prospects here, and all that's going to do is it's going to show me all of my hot prospects who have points attributed to them. And so some of these contacts here who have 0, if I click on hot prospects, it's not going to show them anymore, and it's only going to show me the contacts that have points attributed to them. So think of it as a way to dive into a folder and looking at which contacts in my hot folder actually have points attributed to them. So if I click on hot, then hot prospects, I'm now looking at only the contacts that have points attributed to them. So that's a good way to kind of keep it all organized there that way. So now I've shown you how to send a quick email with content to Zach Uber here as an example, but let's say you wanted to send an email to many people, such as your church folder. I used this in last Thursday's example. In my church folder here, I have 4 contacts that I met at church that were all interested in ASEA VIA. And if I wanted to go through the process of sending them all a single email so that I'm not hand typing 4 different emails, we have the power of sending mass emails now in this new app, and I'm going to show you just how we can do that. So create a folder, and you can add multiple contacts to that folder as an example. If we go up to Media and go to One-Click Email, now we can select our contacts manually by going through here and selecting them that way. You can blow this up here by, instead of seeing only 5 per page, you can jump this up to maybe 20 so that you can see more contacts as you go through here, and you can select them all manually by hitting this checkbox, or you can add them all by tag. And if we wanted to send an email to all of our church friends, we can go to Add by Tags and go here to Church and checkbox that here, and you can see now we have everyone in my church folder is going to be getting an email about ASEA VIA. So let's go through here and scroll down, and let's write and prepare our message. So in this case, I don't have an email template yet for ASEA VIA, so let's go through and create one real fast. What I mean by that is let's create a quick email about ASEA VIA. So let's just add a basic subject line here. Now what's nice here is you can also use the contact's first name, which I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to do for a while, and we now have that power to do so. We have this Add Custom Data button here. So instead of just making it generic, like hi, friend, or things like that, you can also call them out by their first name. So let's go to Add Custom Data, and let's find contact first name. This is what we want here. Now you can either checkbox this here, or simply grab it like so and hit Control-C to copy it. But what we can do here is hit Add Selected, and that adds it here to the bottom of our email here, to our email body. If we simply copy that and bring that up to the email subject, we can type in hi and then paste that in with Control-V as in Victor. And you can see here it's got a nice little code. Contact underscore first underscore name is going to be the code that's going to bring in that contact first name. So now we've personalized this just a little bit more. Here is the information on ASEA VIA. So down here below, let's make this a little bit more personal here. So I'm just kind of putting up a couple placeholders here, and we can go ahead and bold some things here to just make it stand out just a little bit more, such as their first name and where I'm going to be placing my video. So what you can do here is, if you know you're going to be placing an ASEA Via product video here, you can create your email like I've done here, and let's go ahead and find the ASEA Via product video, and let's put it here in this slot. So you have this little add media button here, and as I click on that, it's going to pull up all of our different videos that we have here. Now there's not necessarily a search box here, so I know it's a little bit clunky at the moment. We're working on making this a little bit cleaner for you, but let's just scroll through here and find the ASEA Via products. Let's checkbox this here at the top, and then you could also do multiple. So I may have one about, looks like I have a duplicate for the ASEA Via products video. That's fine. I thought I had one about the Omega. Looks like I don't. So we'll just go ahead and use this ASEA Via products here, and let's hit add selected. So perfect. We have this video 5539 for ASEA Via products. If I click on my preview message, this is a really good spot for you to be able to see how your email is going to look and how it's going to show up to your different contacts and prospects as they receive your email. So good way to do that. Let's go back to the plain text editor here. All right, so I'm just kind of adding a little bit of flair to my email. You guys can create this exactly how you want, but I'm just making it here just to kind of show you an example of a couple things. Now, this is where we can go a little bit further by adding our website link. And what I mean by that is our replicated website, for instance. And so let me go here real fast and let me find my replicated site. And then I'm going to add it to my email here because I want to share this with people from my church group, but I also want to give them some access to be able to find to be able to get more information, right? So let's go to my images here. Let me see if I can track it down. I don't have my ID memorized here yet. Here we go. There's my associate ID. All right, this is my site, and this is where I kind of want to send people if they have any additional questions, right? I want to make sure that they can go to my page, see my picture, go to my ASEA Via stuff, and get some more information that way. So I like that. It looks like that ASEA Via button's broken. We'll look into that here. So let's go ahead and grab this and copy it. Let's go back to our email here, and let me show you how you can add a link to your email. A lot of people use this for different sites that they like to share. I've seen it be used for different ASEA websites, such as the ASEA Science website. But in this case, I'm going to just use my replicated site here. I'm going to grab that URL and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go down here to this link button. I'm going to click on the link, and I'm just going to simply paste. Hit OK. And now I have that link in here. Now, if I wanted to make this a little bit better, I can, let me see if I can edit this. Edit link. I'm trying to find out where I can adjust it. The name of it. Let me change this here to my website. And now let me grab this and let me turn this into a link. Grab that link there and paste that in and hit OK. And now I have a proper website that's going to take people to my ASEA replicated site. All right. Now I think we're complete with how we want to send this to our church group, so let's go ahead and send this out and see how it's going to look to them. Let's agree to the anti-spam policy, and let's hit, we could also save this as a template. Let me hit this Save Template button here and call this ASEA Via, and hit Save. Awesome. So now we've created a template so that I don't have to retype this every single time. I have an email template that for somebody who has questions about ASEA Via, I have a nice email that I can use on a regular basis for them. So let's go ahead and send this off and see how this is going to look. Send email. We're going to wait for that notification. It's going to tell me that all of my emails have been sent. Boom, 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 boom. There's everyone in my church group that just got an email. So what that's going to look like to them on their end, if I pull up my email here, here's an example of what it looks like. Just like the previous one there. So now we've sent that out on multiple levels, and you can see their first name gets pulled in here. Hi, Scott. And you don't have to go through the process of manually typing 4 separate emails. So the one-click email is a very powerful tool so that you can send multiple people multiple emails with click at your button. So it's a very, very good tool that I hope you guys take advantage of. So now moving along here, let's talk through once they start accessing these emails, how do you follow up using this desktop tool? I'm going to show you that just now. If we go to the announcement area and click on announcements, I know it's kind of a different word here, but announcements is where you're going to find different ASEA notifications that we have here, such as different product releases or feature releases. You're going to see them here on the side, but where I'm trying to direct you is this reminders section. This reminders area is a good spot for you to see everything that you've sent and items that you maybe want to follow up on. So this is an area that's going to show you everything that you have sent, and as you start scrolling down here, you're going to see as you start sending emails, such as this Zach Uber email I sent earlier, you're going to be able to see if they viewed the content by scrolling here on the right and seeing that Zach Uber has accessed that email, and you can see the email subject right here, and so that you can follow up with your contacts there that way. So let's pull this back into frame here and look here. So for Zach Uber, if we expand this by hitting this plus button, we get a lot of information about Zach here. We can see kind of some context of why we would have sent Zach the ASEA Renew Advanced Skincare video. We can add additional notes to Zach. We can also record a new activity, such as Zach wanted me to call him next week. And I can hit save on that, and now I just recorded a new activity for that without going into Zach as a contact. You can just look through your chalk list of everything that you've sent and kind of scroll down your list and do a quick follow-up like I'm doing here now. And so you can just follow up based on that. So that's a good way to do that. So in addition, Zach had mentioned that he wanted me to call him next week. A good way to track that to make sure that you don't lose this is to add a to-do item. So this little button here, this little list button, if we click on this, it's going to add a task for this particular contact. So let's say here, Zach was busy but wanted to talk more next Thursday. So let's put in a little description of the task. We can flag it as a priority if we need to. We don't need to worry about that today. And let's go here and select on my calendar next Thursday. Boom. Let's hit save. So now my task has successfully been created. So next Thursday at, I believe it's set for 6:30 a.m., I'm going to get notified in my app, in my email, that I need to reach out to Zach today because he wanted me to call him. You can access all of your to-do items up here at the top if you go to Announcements and To-Do Tool. And down here below, this follow-up area is just a repeat of the announcement area that I was just on here. So it's the same exact screen here, just kind of showing you all of your contacts that you've been prospecting to and keeping you on top of them that way. Down here below that, though, is our tasks. And you can see here that I have a few different tasks that I need to follow up on. And I have one here that I set up for October 24th to reach back out to myself. And here is the one for Zach Uber that I added here. Zach was busy but wanted me to talk more next Thursday. And I can mark that as complete and move along from that just like that. So you can follow up with your tasks that way. It's a really good way because you are going to get a text message notification if you paid attention at the start of our call and set up your notifications properly. So that's a good area to do so. So moving along here, we are kind of crunched on time. I wanted to make sure we covered a good handful more. Let's talk real fast about our presentation builder real quick. I'll just give you an example of what a presentation looks like and why I think it's an important tool for you guys to build. Under Media and go to Presentation Builder, you have these different presentations that you can create for your contacts. So instead of sending one video to a prospect, you can send multiple videos and a PDF to that prospect. An example of how that looks here, if we go to Media and click on Media, you have this little button here on the right for presentations. As I click on that and they load into frame here, I have a handful of different presentations. Here's one that I created last week for ASEA Stories Top 5. My top 5 ASEA stories that I think are relevant, that I'd like to share with people. And so I wanted to send them, instead of 5 separate emails of different ASEA stories, I created a presentation for my personal top 5. I can click on my preview button here, and you can see here I got 5 ASEA stories that I can send to people and have them consume this content. I've also included down here below ASEA Redox product info. If they have any questions, they can click on that and download that PDF and see some information about ASEA Redox, for instance. So presentations are a very, very powerful tool to send people a lot of content that you control the order of and keep it a little bit more condensed than sending 5 separate emails. So to send your presentation, to build a presentation, of course it's as easy as going to Media and Presentation Builder. And let's go ahead and select a couple important business videos that might help people out who's a brand new associate. So let's maybe talk to them about the director bonus, the fast forward challenge, and maybe the compensation plan. Let's search here for comp. Perfect. And maybe the loyalty rewards, just some of the different videos that somebody may want to reference on a regular basis to kind of help them with their ASEA business as they're learning a little bit more about how to be successful at it. Okay, I'm happy with those there. So now we can select these videos and we can delete them by hitting the X, or we can resort them to our liking. Let's bring the compensation plan up at the top and bring the fast forward up to position 2. And now as I scroll down here below, let's add a PDF to this presentation here, such as the compensation plan. Boom. You can preview it there to make sure it's the right file. New ASEA Associate. I'm going to just add a number 2 because I can't remember if I have one named exactly that. So let's hit Save Presentation. Now when I save that, I can view the presentation or I can send it immediately in an email. So if I had a bunch of downline associates that I wanted to send this information out to, I can build an email template and send it off that way. If I click on View Presentation, you can see how nice this is. I got a complete collection of the ASEA business videos in one presentation. So I have an access for the compensation plan. So you can start using this tool to better train your downline associates, giving them all the information so that they're not missing everything, because I know they could get pretty overwhelmed with some of our different videos in our corporate library, and so creating these presentations might be a good way to keep them on top of the ball with staying on top of it, right? So I've seen people build a presentation for all the different perks, such as the different diamond retreats and some of the other ascent videos and things like that. So you can think of the possibilities of building your own presentations. So as soon as you build a presentation, I do want to show you here, inside the app, every presentation that you build, let me pull this back into frame here. If I click on my Tools button here, I have an area in the app specifically for presentations, and you will have that too as soon as you build your first presentation. If I do a pull down to refresh here, to refresh my content, give it just a sweet little minute here. Down here at the bottom, I have presentations. Now this is great. This is all of the presentations that I've built. Look at all these here. My ASEA Stories Top 5, my new to ASEA Associate 2. The importance of having it in the app is you can now send this out via text message so that you have a different downline associate that maybe you don't have their email for, but you want to send it as a text message. You now have this presentation inside the app so that you can text it and send it off that way instead of worrying about the desktop sending. So presentations on the desktop will transfer over to the mobile app. So in that regard, I think that's done talking about the presentation builder. If you have any questions about that, we can open that up on the Q&A. I want to talk to you real fast about our email templates before we jump into our before we jump into our Q&A. I've shown you a little bit about that as we sent our church group an email, but I want to show you where you can find your email templates. If you click on Media, you have this little button here for email scripts. If you click on these email scripts here, you can see I have quite a few that I've built over the time of doing this, and I want to show you an example of kind of how to build a raw one. So let's open up this ASEA one that I was working on earlier with my church group. Let's click on my Edit button here. If you wanted to create a new email script, you have that Add button there. Let's click on the Edit button, and let's just adjust this just fast here and make it a little bit more colorful. You can see that I've already added my contact first name here. I've always found it nice to add a nice ASEA blue to our emails, just to kind of keep the trend of ASEA in all of the things that we like to send. You guys don't have to do this, but it's just kind of a way to make it a little bit more bright and fun for somebody who's getting an email. I think that's the close one there. So you can adjust all of your email templates however you'd like, and since the omega is red, I like to kind of make it look like that. So if I go to my preview message here, you can see my emails template is starting to look nice. Go back to my plain text editor. All right, so building an email template is very easy. A lot of people have built one for different types of contacts, such as athletes or people who are interested in science. To add multiple pieces of content to this, so here is the one I created for ASEA. Let's say I also wanted to add the brochure, the ASEA brochure. You've already seen my video so far about how to add that video to that. Let's go ahead and add a brochure here as well. I'm going to grab this content here and copy it. Product brochure. So now that we've created this placeholder here, let's go to Add Media. And up at the top, this pulls into frame here, and I can click on PDFs, and I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to find something about ASEA booklet. Let's go ahead and add just the brochure this time here. I don't need to add the booklet as well. So as we select the brochure, we'll go up to the top here and hit Add Selected. And now we have that PDF number 3. You can disregard if it's blue or whatever color it is. It's not going to show up as you send this off to other people. But as you hit the preview message, you can see how nice this is going to start looking here. So here is the information on ASEA. I thought this video and brochure was great. So you can adjust your email templates however you'd like there. There's no right or wrong way to do that. A lot of people like to put in a nice bio at the bottom of their email signature. I've seen some really good signatures that people have used. So as you start building your content, you can build some really nice email templates, and all you got to do is hit Save Script, and then that email template is available to use, and I'll show you where you can do that here. If you go to Contacts, Manage Contacts, let's click on my Derek Woodward contact here, and all we have to do is click on Send an Email, and up at the top you have this little area for email templates. Click on None, and look at all these here that I have now available to me. If I simply click on my ASEA, boom, all that work is done for me, and I can send this off to Derek, and it's going to look nice. So let's agree to the anti-spam policy and hit Send Email, and just like that, it comes through incredibly fast. And I will open it up here just to show you what it looks like to a contact. They get a nice email with your information about it, with different videos and a brochure. When they click on this brochure, it's going to download it as a PDF. It's going to open up a nice little page like this that they can download it, and they can access the brochure information like so. So this is a very powerful tool. I know I've kind of talked a lot about these different features, but we do have some time to open this up to a Q&A to you guys. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about here today, this is a really good spot to talk through some of these questions. And if there's anything I maybe didn't cover on today's call with you, let's talk about it and see if there's a question that I have for you. let me open up my Q&A here. I don't have any live questions that came in on the call, but I do want to make sure I unmute everyone so that if anyone has a question, we can talk through it here and see if everyone is happy and see if there's anything I can help you guys with. So at this point, does anyone have any questions? I have one chat here. Let's see. Let me read this chat message here. And I apologize, I don't really know how to pronounce your name. Jazana, I believe. I have a chat message here from you, and if you have any questions about it, I'd like to help answer that for you. If you have any questions, probably just reach me on the Connect at ASEA Global email account, and I'll be able to help answer your questions. But if you guys don't have any questions that you want to talk about here on the call, I'll sit here for just a few more minutes, but I do want to make sure to point out that if there's anything that I didn't cover on today's call that you wanted to know more about, definitely book some time with me by trying to take a picture of this QR code here, or by going to this website here, and it will allow you to book some time with me to where we can talk about email templates, presentation builders, and kind of get you a rough start to starting on sending emails using this awesome tool. And again, also as always, that Connect at ASEA Global email address is a good resource to reach me, and we're really excited about next week and the Webvention. We have a lot of really cool announcements that we're working really hard for. We have a lot of people working very late hours, and so we're really excited to bust this out and make it something that you guys are really proud of. So if you guys don't have any questions for me right now, I'm going to go ahead and end this call and get this posted up on our different channels. And so it was a pleasure speaking with you guys, and I think this was one of the better desktop trainings we went through. And if you guys have any questions, you guys know where to find me. Connect at ASEAGlobal.com. I appreciate everyone's involvement, and I hope you guys have yourself an excellent Tuesday morning. Thanks again, everyone.